Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builders Supply, and this video is to bring you a closer look at the Schlage C503-116. This is their cylinder cap pin. These are used for non-interchangeable core applications. Thinking about the times that I've combined Schlage's full-size removable core, nothing comes to mind as to why the pin is different for a non-IC versus an IC, but nonetheless, this is the IC, the non-IC version. And, not much to see here, and this pin is going to be used in much of their product line. If there's another pin for non-IC, I'm unaware of it. This video will serve as visual and dimensional evidence of the item. Overall length, 0.44 inch. Whoa. 0.44 inch overall length. The diameter of the body of the unit, 0.092. 0.092 is the body diameter. The diameter of the head is 0.068. 0.068, which sits into the threaded cap ring. So when you're combining your cylinders, you'll have it's actually a C503-115, which is the spring, then the pin. You depress that, and then you're going to thread or unthread your cap, your threaded cap that will go there. Let's switch to the screen view and take a closer look at some supporting documentation. This is indeed the item that we are looking at. Not much to see here, but let's dive into it. Cylinder cap pin non-IC. Click here for key bitting specifications. Okay, so that's just a depth and spacing chart for typical Schlage. It would be for conventional and interchangeable core pinning. I would think it's going to be for everything except obviously small format, and it would not be for their their SL cylinders as well. I'm not an expert with SL cylinders. I've studied them briefly. It's a wholly different structure of tumbler. But when it comes to Schlage being a two-step system with a 15 thousandths of an inch increment, this data is here. I think it's really here because I would imagine that the pin, the cap pin is mentioned here, the C503-116, the 115 is the spring, etc. Now, there is a link below this video to the manufacturer's page, which is here. First, let's copy this part number. Let's take it with us and click on the manufacturer's page. Then let's fire up the service manual that's here. That is a not insignificant document, so let's give it a moment to load. And while that document loads, I'm going to perform a find function on the keyboard, or just Control F. And then I'm going to populate into the box that comes up the part number that I want to search. So I know that it's C503-116. And what I did there is I put all of it, but I then backed it off to just C503. There are over 1,000 pages in this document, so I want the computer to be able to index it. So as it's indexing, and you can see it indexing here, I'll then add the dash. I'll wait for it to reindex. When you see that it stops on a number permanently, it's done indexing, but I'll add the 1. It might be all we get out of it. 1, 6. Okay, so that is going to show up in this plus 1,000-page document apparently 4 times. The depth and spacing data we just looked at. It's mentioned down here as contents to a kit that's going to contain cylinder components, obviously, is what I'm grasping at here. Shows up again on a different depth and spacing data chart, and then on a third depth and spacing data chart. For the Everest 29, again the Everest 29, and then just the, this would be This would be Everest, of course, in a available S family keyway. Okay, so that is pretty much everything you're going to find on this cap pin. Let's just search for cap pin and see if there might be something else that shows up in a different part number. Appears to just show up, well, it's still going. Start to cycle through it. Here's, they're going to show us a cap pin. However, they're saying non-IC. You know what, I think that's what it is. That cap pin, I believe, is indeed a different shape now that I think of it. So let's cycle through and see if we can find another part number. This is very interesting. This cylinder construction here, this would be for a hotel cylinder that will, not to get off the track here, but these ribs are for allowing the cylinder to turn in one direction only, is what that allows. So we're looking for cap pin. We'll continue on. Yeah, there is a different cap pin here, right here, the C603-347. 2 asterisks for cores manufactured before 1997. And you get the point. You can cycle through. You will note, probably at some point, they don't indicate it here very clearly. So here's a good picture of your H, your cap pin right here. They don't indicate it here. In the price book, they price it per each and then tell you that you have to buy them in multiples of 100. I would prefer if they just indicated the price per 100 because that's the only way they sell it. Be mindful, depending on your system, you'll have your cap pin in your plug in different locations. Classic conventional is on the left side of the tailpiece, and then on Everest and Primus they move it to the right side. The reason they don't put it here is because they have things happening in the cylinder over here, like finger pins and additional machining that's been done in the plug, so nowhere for that cap pin to go, so they move it over to the right side. Get the concept, Control F, search the document, you'll be able to find all sort of interesting things. Now, speaking of interesting things, on that manufacturer's page, there are a lot of them. There is a link here first, you can view on this page not only all of the Schlage products that we sell by means of this horizontal navigation, but also a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the full product catalog, and then several other encyclopedic documents that are here. Dozens of them. Okay, so we already touched on a very handy document. That'd be the service manual here. Key blanks, cylinders and key blanks quick reference guide. Super handy if you are looking up the part number of a key blank, okay, or a cylinder, or if you want to know the letters of the other classic obverse classic keyways, the 7 original keyways, not including obviously wafer. What else is important on here? I will tell you that the master template index is important on this page. The Primus face sheet, if you're ordering Primus cylinders or keys, that will have to be filled out in one way or another. You'll find the Primus service manual here. You will find the Everest service manual here. Several other encyclopedic documents as well. Schlage cylinder suffix guide. I use this document all the time because I always forget. I know what P is, and I know what L is, and I know what R is, and I know what J and B are, but sometimes I forget what a W stands for. So this allows me to understand what the letters are immediately after the function of the lock set. Okay, that's handy. Let's wrap up this video on camera. In conclusion, there's not too much to say about this cap pin, which is why I brought in all of the additional information into the video to show you the other resources. The name Schlage is synonymous with very high quality locks and has been for a century. I would have to think that Schlage has a 100-year anniversary coming up in 2021, which is next year, because I believe 2021 is when Walter Schlage, known as the Lock Wizard, got his start. We all use probably all of us use his technology every day. And that is namely the technology where the cylinder is contained within the trim itself. It was Walter Schlage who came up with that idea. Not the pin tumbler cylinder that's inside of it, but putting that cylinder inside of the working trim was something that he invented along with many other things. A very interesting history of Walter Schlage. Emigrated from Germany, was the son of an incredibly intelligent tool and die maker, I think. And he worked for, I believe, Walter Schlage. I know Walter Schlage worked for a major lock manufacturer. It was probably Yale in town. And at night he'd go home in his basement and work on his snazzy ideas. And the rest is history, so to speak. Exceptional company when it comes to, well, many fronts, but I'm thinking of technical support. Really great, helpful individuals over at Schlage. Very much participating as a full partner in the process of serving the end user. Any questions on the Schlage C503-116 or any other Schlage product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you. Again, thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up. Please subscribe and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.